Hi, good morning, everyone. It's a little bit early for some of you because this month, um, Zoom chat actually moved it from the even month to November because of the holidays. And it's also moved a little bit earlier because this afternoon I actually have a poinsettia class. So therefore the background already have the artwork pinned on. So we are seeing all these Christmas flowers because I have a class this afternoon. So welcome everybody. And this month's Zoom chat is actually a continuation of what we talked about last month when we have our anniversary chat. And then in the unrecorded one, we talk about outdoor sketching and things like that. And then I promise, in future Zoom chat, I will be looking into the equipment and the things that we use in order to do the Sumi-e outdoor sketching. And for today's presentation, first of all, before I do that, is there any questions or things on, Q&A and technical things that you want me to answer first? If not, I'll dive into the outdoor sketching for Sumi-e. Let me see. Just speak up and okay, all right. So I will talk about the outdoor sketching. And I have to say that, like last time when I showed you the picture, this is actually me, but that is over 20 years ago. And then is what I did. And you can see that this is actually a red, toolbox that I used to put all my art supplies there. And you can easily see that this is actually a bottle of Sumi ink. And this is my little bucket for the water. And basically, I have my toolbox, and the toolbox become my little chair. So everything would fit right into it. And then I actually drove to this particular garden. It is Cricket Hill Garden, which is a beautiful peony garden in Connecticut. But then I have to say that I have, kind of like accumulated a lot more stuff for doing outdoor sketching. So first of all, let me tell you that, like for outdoor sketching, I actually have 3 different levels. Just like brushes, we have small, medium, large. So we have small, medium, large for my outdoor sketching as well. Let's go from the big to small because you will see how I continue to come back. The first one is, if you do big one, what you want is actually the whole 9 yards. And a lot of times I'll do it if I'm driving there, meaning that I have the whole trunk to do that. And if you want, you can even bring an umbrella. You can bring a folding chair. And there are a lot of little chairs that you can bring that is portable. So let me show you what I have. This is a really compact folding chair that can open up and is pretty sturdy. So when it's open, I can actually sit on it, and it's pretty comfortable, and it's pretty lightweight. So this is one of the chair that I can bring. But as I say, if you are painting in a garden and things like that, sometimes you can find a place where there's a rock or something you can set on, because you may not think that is necessary, but if you are doing some serious sketching and you are staying there for a little bit longer, a little chairs actually would be helpful. And this is my compact one. And I also have one. This one is, as I say, like the small, medium, large. This is the large version. This one is a chair that actually double as a bag that you can, like put some drinks, or, it's actually packed, so insulated. So you can actually put some things in it, and actually you can use it and carry it on your shoulder. It's not that heavy. But then I have to say that this chair is a lot more comfortable than the red one, because you see, it actually unfold into a pretty sturdy chair. And you can put all the knick-knack inside here, and it has a back So you can sit there for a pretty long time and it's still quite comfortable because you can rest your back on it. So this one is another folding chair that I have for my outdoor sketching. And then when it comes to the support, as I say, we're talking about the deluxe version now. And if you are doing this, a lot of times, this is also good for watercolors as well. I actually have a professional tripod and Plein Air set. And this is the one. This is similar to a little tripod, but then the thing is on the top, it actually, similar to when you mount a camera, it has the hardware that you can plug right in. And since I'm a watercolor, so instead of painting vertical, we actually like to paint flat. So this one, once you put it on here, is actually adjustable. So it's actually, just loosen it a little bit. Yeah. But you can adjust it and you can adjust the angle and you can adjust the height. And then this is where you rest the artwork. But then what's the good thing about this is actually come with another tray and you can rest it on the tripod here. And because we are watercolorless, we can put our palette here and then we can put a cup here. And for the cups, usually this size, you can put a large drinking throwaway cup, you know, the plastic cup. What I find out is that one time I got a giveaway cup from a credit union. It fits perfectly. So because of that, I actually kept it. I'll show you. This is the cup. It's actually a giveaway cup from a fair, and it fits right there. And I have to say that it is a lot more environmental friendly than paper cup. So I like to do that, and it's also good because it holds a lot of water. So that is my kind of like deluxe, you know, large watercolor setting when I'm doing the outdoor sketching. Now, you know, those are the setup, but then how about the paper and the support? And we did talk about it. And with it is regular watercolor, you can easily get a piece of paper. And usually, if you are doing watercolor, I would do a quarter sheet, which is, you know, one sheet of full size watercolor paper, 22 by 30, cut into 4 pieces. And because of the quarter sheet size, what I would do is I would find a foam core or just a regular cardboard and then cut it to around quarter sheet size. And with it is watercolor, I'll just use masking tape here because I don't want it to buckle. But then if I'm doing Sumi-e, what I would do is similar to this, I will actually pre-cut my Sumi-e paper to that same size. Say, for example, if this is the size that I want, then what I'll do is I will actually have a piece of felt. This is a piece of white felt. I have used it so many times, but then I tape it to my cardboard. And this is permanently taped. And of course, you know, like last time, Noreen also showed us that she actually spray paint the felt onto it. I basically just wrapped it and then use masking tape, which is similar. And what I have also, you know, like try is, this one is, you know, something that I did. I went to Home Depot and bought one of those aluminum tin, kind of like a metal sheet, right? And then I have different sizes. And this one is the same size, also a quarter sheet. And then I also have magnets. This is just actually regular magnets, but I painted it white. And because it's metal, it will stick to it pretty nicely. And what I like to do is I can, instead of the masking tape, I can use my magnet, and then they actually, you know, stick to it pretty well. So we can do that. And this magnet is so powerful that I can have a felt and then the rice paper on it, because when the rice paper stick to it, there's no marking. Because what I also find out is that we can use masking tape to tape the paper onto the board, but then you cannot really use masking tape to tape the paper onto the felt. So the crayon that I use are these. These are the ones that I use. Don't use this. These are basically just regular paper clip. Some people like to use that, but I think they are a little bit too tough. And I actually found that they make a mark. So my preference is actually this kind of crayons. And these, because there's kind of like a flat surface here. So when you put the rice paper onto the board that is covered by felt, it's actually covered pretty nicely, but without making like a crayon mark. So I actually prefer to have this kind of crayons. So these are the things that is the support and also the paper. And of course, I would really advise you to actually cut the paper similar to the size of the board that you will use. So it's just a lot easier. Okay, when it comes to the palette, if you're doing the deluxe, of course, you use a full palette. I mean, some people may use a smaller one, but then my preference is actually a palette that is sealed. I know that people have, you know, different kind of palette, but then I bought this one a long time ago, and what it does, it has a little bit of rubber on the edge, and it is actually sealed it up, meaning that, you know, like even with the color inside maybe, you know, leaking a little bit, I mean, it actually doesn't leak out. And of course, you know, like Ziploc bags is your friend. So even if I know that it's sealed, I would still put it into a Ziploc bag. But then I have used this, you know, like to different kind of sketching, and it opened to be a pretty good size palette with, you know, lots of color choices, lots of mixing place. So this is what I do when I do the kind of like the deluxe, the full-fledged outdoor plein air. And you can put Sumi-e color on here as well. So that's fine. Okay, now you'll probably ask, how about the ink? I do not put ink in my palette because, you know, if you paint Sumi-e, you know that, you know, a drop of ink will actually contaminate the entire palette. So I actually do not want any ink in the entire palette. So I will actually bring ink separately. And for the ink, you can bring the little bottles, but then, you know, like, as I say, Ziploc bag is your friend. Always put it in a Ziploc bag as well. But then you probably don't need a whole bottle. So what you may want to do is to actually have little jar from, you know, whatever things that you use. For example, the opaque white, this jar actually is pretty tight. So another things that I do is I have little jar like this. These are jars that you can buy in craft stores. And in the olden times, you know, I'm dating myself, but then in the olden times, you know, if you still remember films, then you can use negative films, and they are pretty tight as well. Like these, right? These are actually film jars, okay? They are pretty tight. And you know, a lot of people used to use them, but then, you know, like there's no film anymore because all camera goes digital. So you can actually buy similar jars in a craft store. And as we know, you know, you don't really need a lot of Sumi ink. So you only need a little bit. And I would, just put a little bit of ink in it. And where do you pour it? Since I don't put it in the palette, what I do is I use little plastic dish, and these are actually stackable. So I have two, because one is for water, the other one is for ink. As a matter of fact, like if I'm going full-fledged, then I'll have a big jar of water, but then on the smaller scales, I have two of them, one for water, one for ink. And if you don't like the dish, I actually have another kind that is kind of like a little square. And these are also stackable, and they're all plastic, so you don't have the danger of breaking them, and they travel pretty well. And the advantage of this over this is because it has little corners, and I found it a lot easier to kind of like get some of the color and the water out. And also, you can rest your brush there and it won't go away. So especially when you're outdoors, sometimes, your brush roll to the side and things like that. So, so that's the ink. And of course, talking about the brush rolling away, even in the studio, this is actually a soup dish, is for bar of soap. But then what I use it for is I use it as a brush rest in the studio. So I found it pretty helpful. And when I go outdoor painting, if I don't mind the low, I actually would bring this. This is pretty light, so it won't roll away, right? So let me see, colors, water. I kind of finished talking about the deluxe version. So let's go to the mid-size. How about if you are going mid-size, you really don't need to bring a lot of this, or you really don't have a place to bring the tripod and the easel and things like that. Then what I have is my friend have actually gave me a box that he modified from something else, and I have been using it when I'm doing the mid-size one. And if you recognize this is actually an oil painting box. And the box was created for oil painting. And like if you look at the hinges, when it was designed, actually open like this. However, my friend is really nice. He actually unscrew the things and then make it open sideways instead of the other way. And then what it does is actually a really nice box, because when I open it, I can fasten the wood here, and I will put my artwork here. I'm gonna put my artwork here, and then I'll put my palette here, and then my bottle, my water somewhere here, and it's all contained, and the brushes will be here. And all I need is to have my chair sit somewhere, then I don't need a tripod, right? And I have used it in Red Rock Canyon near Vegas. And we were a whole team of us, and then we were, doing this, and it was a lot of fun, and it's completely efficient. And with this, for example, if you go to a national park, sometimes they have tables. You can actually open this and then paint here using the table, and this kind of double as an easel as well. So I've been doing that, and it's pretty light to travel, because all the art supplies can be inside the box, and so this it has a little handle, so it's kind of self-contained. So this is kind of like my mid-size travel when I don't want to bring the tripod and things like that. So that's the mid-size. So now let's talk about the compact one, right? The compact one, of course, like if you want, you can still bring your palette, but I actually have a smaller one. Okay, this is my compact palette, and actually have bought it to Europe and have painted on trains and things like that. And it's a typical palette that has, these are the pan watercolor. So some people may not like it, but then I'm going to show you what I use for this. It has this mixing area and it's really compact because this thing can open up and put on the side, and that would be your water source. And you can pull it out a little bit. And once it's pulled out, you have additional mixing plate and your thumb go here. So basically you can be painting on here with everything at your fingertip and the water is here. So I have been doing this on the bus, on a train, inside a cruise ship, like room, really tight space. I do use it for, multiple things when I'm really traveling and don't want to waste a lot of my luggage space on the tripod and, the chair and everything. I mean, I basically just bought this. So now I come to the brushes. When it comes to brushes, because these are pan watercolor, all you need is water to dilute it, right? So you can paint on it. So I'm going to introduce you to something that I have, which is kind of interesting. Of course, if you are doing regular watercolor, you bring watercolor brushes, right? And if you are doing Sumi-e, you bring Sumi-e brushes, right? However, when you are doing outdoor, you really cannot bring the whole studio. So you have to be selective. And one of the things that I like is when you are doing this, instead of bringing a lot of these, and beside these, you have to wash them off. You have to have kind of like a water source, because you have, when you change color, you have to put it in the water, wash off the red before you can change to the green and things like that. You need a lot of water. And by the way, if you are traveling with your car and things like that, and your water source actually is bottled water, a whole bottle can go a long way, like this. And by the way, you don't fill it all the way up, fill it up maybe around this much. So it's enough to wash the brush. So you can use a whole bottle for the whole day instead of continuously, wasting water. So, but then, like when you are really traveling, as I say, on a bus, on a train, you really don't have a lot of water source. So what I have is this. This is just a little bottle, and that is enough for the whole day use because I'm just using it here, right? And then, but then, one thing that I have learned is this kind of brushes. These kind of brushes, these are water here, and they come in different sizes. This one is a small one. Actually, my go-to one is this one. Okay, you can see that this is actually made of nylon, and the water is here, and it's plastic. So when you squeeze a little bit, the water kind of come down here. And when this is wet, when you touch the color that you want, then it actually can come on. Okay, don't use yellow, use red. Okay, here you can see the water actually diluted some of the color on the pan, and then you get the color. And how do I wash it? I mean, if I want to change to red or change to green, what do I do? Different people have different ways to do it. The way I did it is I would have paper towel, and then all I need is to squeeze 1, 2, and then use the paper towel to get the color out, right? And you squeeze 1, 2, 3, then the color kind of like is clean up the brush, and then you can pick up another color. And I have used it for outdoor sketching. And like I really like it. I think it's really helpful. And some of the tricks that I have that people are like, where did you get it? Okay. We probably, especially for watercolor, you may want to have a spray bottle, but then I don't know about you, but my spray bottle is really big, the one that I use in my studio. And I really don't have that kind of room to bring this on the road, right? So what I have is this, okay? So it's only water inside. So I can actually spray water onto my artwork. So, I mean, when I was using this, a lot of people ask me, where do you buy this? Actually, you can't buy this. I'm sure, you probably know what it is now. This is actually hand sanitizer. This is a hand sanitizer, a kind of like a portable version of a hand sanitizer that people can put in their purse. And what I did is, of course, I use up the hand sanitizer. I clean out the whole device, and then I put pure water inside. And of course, I take out the labels. So this is actually a pretty efficient spray bottle, miniature size, and has a cap. So, like it's my little miniature spray bottle for my Plein Air show, Plein Air work. All right. So let me see what else. So any questions on what I use before I actually switch the camera and show you the artwork that I have done on this? Okay. All right. So let me show you some of the artwork that I have. So, oh, by the way. Yeah. This one is for watercolor, and I actually bought this online. This one is a Chinese brush. This has whistle hair, the wolf hair, and then this, you can put ink in it. You can put ink in it, and so you have continuous ink coming from here. So I have used this actually in the sketchbook that I'm going to show you. So this is pretty efficient because then you don't even have to carry the ink. The ink is actually here. So I'll show you what I have when I switch the camera. So let me just put some of these away first. Let's switch the camera, so we'll show you what I have. Okay, now these are some of the sketchbooks that I have, and let's see. Right. This is a sketchbook that I've seen, like some people would bring to outdoor sketching, because if you open this up, this is kind of like a quarter sheet. So this is pretty good size as well, and you can buy it from art store. And I have to say that I use one that is even smaller. The one that I'm going to show you that actually has filled up is actually this one. And this one is pretty small. And let's see, it's only around 5.5 by 8 inches. So when it opens, it's 8 by 11. So it's pretty small, and it's very easy to carry. And I also have other sketchbooks that I have, because I want to show you these. These are actually sketchbooks that I did when I was doing my lunch break, right? And I used to work in Washington, D.C., very close to the White House. So I'm going to show you some of the work that I did when I was having my lunch break the year before. And then, oh, by the way, one of the things about sketchbook is that I prefer this size because this is the easiest to carry. Of course, like you may want to do bigger sketchbook, but then for small sketchbook, the good thing is you can carry them very effortlessly. for example, this one, because when I bought the palette, it actually comes with a traveling case. So this is a traveling case that has, various things that come with it, such as, for example, watercolor paper and brushes and things like that. So this is basically what we call fanny pack. So you can wear it around your waist. And I've been using it, in the very beginning. But then what I find out is that carrying a fanny pack, because even it's lightweight, it's still heavy, if you carry it for the whole day. So I actually found that, my back kind of hurt. So I stopped using this, and that's why I picked sketchbook that is this size, because what I can do is, this is just a regular, little handbag that I have. And when I bought it, I purposely buy one that is this size, so I can easily put my book here with ease. And I can even put it inside the purse, all the way inside and zipped up. But then a lot of times when I go shopping for a bag, I actually find one that has a little pocket here. And this button and this is actually my own addition. It doesn't come with the bag, but then I can put it here, and then I can easily close it, and I can just walk around and do a lot of different things, right? So this, and then because I like this size so much that when this one is worn out, I even bought similar ones such as this one, and I bought this one also because it has a side pocket, and I can easily put my sketchbook here. So I find this actually quite convenient, especially when you are traveling overseas. It's a lot more convenient than carrying the whole thing. But of course, if you are doing a serious outdoor sketching, you still bring the tripod and everything. But when you are vacationing with your family, sometimes it's always nice to carry a sketchbook, and you can start drawing things that you see, and it's kind of fun to do sketching, right? So this is that, right? Now, I know that everybody wants to see, actually not the regular sketch, but the sketchbook that I've been talking about in my thing about the Washington, D.C. So let's see if I can make it closer. Okay, so this is my sketchbook that I painted near Washington, D.C. And the building that I painted from is the balcony on 17 and F Street. And in front of it, we have the Washington Monument. This is actually the first one that I did. You can see that there are multiple pages. So this is the first one that I did. And okay, yeah. And then, I actually signed it and say it's 2016, November 8th, and it's election day. So on 2016 election day, I actually did this painting. And then after that, I actually turned the corner and go to the other side, it continues. So this is actually done in one lunchtime. And then this one was 2016, November 9th. So, 2-3 days later, I actually did this. And this, where people recognize this, is actually an art school. It's an art school and museum here. And then we'll turn. And this one is actually the end of this book. And this one is actually a building with a lot of glass windows. And because of the glass windows, I actually have the reflection of the building here. And then I actually said 2016, November 14, reflection on building. And that is the reflection on the building, because the building actually had glass windows. So that's why I use lighter ink on this. So this is actually the edge of the book. But I start with this because I actually painted this one on the November 8th, and then this November 9th, and this on November 14. And then from there, I actually go to the other side of the building. So here, from the Washington Monument, you would go to the other side, and you'll see that my signature is here, and it say November 22nd. So probably my workload, like did not allow me to do outdoor sketching during a few lunchtime. So after that, I came back, and if you recognize it, this is actually the National Museum of African American History. So this is a relatively new building, and because of the color of it being brown, is a lot darker than the rest of the landscape. And then this is the 1st Infantry, the flag of 1st Infantry, and you can see that this is actually the Smithsonian. So let's see, what else do we have? Okay, and here you can see closer. Okay, moving upward here, I actually wrote, I said, setting up the Christmas tree, because here is where the National Christmas Tree is. And since this is November, these are the fences for the entrance. And then this is the National Christmas Tree. So it's right here. So I wrote that down, because one of the fun thing about plein air painting is not just to record what you are seeing in front of you, but to actually capture the feeling and the mood and the emotion of the day that you did it. So I like to write little things till I remember what happened. And that particular day, they are setting up the Christmas tree, right? And then of course we have a lot of greenery. And then this one, actually, where I say freezing cold, November 28, 2016. So this is freezing cold day when I was doing this part, right? And then from here, let's see. Okay, we have a lot of tree. Then we go to kind of like the other side of the building. And here I say warmer today. Obviously everything is relative, right? And this one I say 2016, November 30th. So I probably did this much on my lunch break one day. And then from here, this is actually the executive building. So from here, I have December 5th. So probably after the weekend, then I did this during my lunch break one time. And that is part of the executive building. And it's a visually beautiful building. If you visit Washington, D.C. next time, besides visiting the White House, look at the executive building. It's outrageously beautiful architecture. And from there, because my balcony is actually right in front of this, so I have a lot of detail here. So let's see. So December 5th, I have this, and then December 8th, I did this, right? Which is, a lot more details, a lot more interesting thing. And then I say, trying to pull, okay. I say trying to pull the wheel up, but too cold to paint today. And then is December 8th. And I even added also the Chinese word that say very cold today. So obviously it was outrageously cold that day. So I was unable to do this much. And then another thing is, as I said, I'm trying to pull the wheel up because otherwise it would just be the sky that I'm looking at. So I move it up a little bit and then go to the building. And this one was December 13 of 2016. And you'll probably notice that the flag is half because I say half flag today for John Glenn. John Glenn, the astronaut, and also he was part of the House, and I believe he's a senator. And he actually passed away, and then the country's flag was on half flag because of that. So I wrote that down because the country was in half flag. And then continue to go. And then this is 6 days later, December 19, and I say full flag again. So this much I did. And then I go to New Year 2017, warmer today. And I also say Happy New Year. So I continue because this is a massive building. So, And then I have warmer today, and continue to go. And here, Happy New Year. And this is Year of the Rooster. Yeah, Happy New Year of the Rooster, February 1st, 2017. And then in this particular one, I say many blackbirds resting on the top because, like, so you can see the little dot, though actually blackbirds there. So here, continue. If you know the geographies, you may even be able to recognize the building. This is actually a American Craft Museum, and this is a residence for foreign diplomat with their stay visiting the White House. But then you will see that, like we have continuously, various buildings. And you probably see that there's a break between here and here on the color and also on the look, because I actually say can't do more block by the building, 2017, February 6th. So in a way, after this, I actually stopped painting on this sketchbook because I moved on to painting. I actually went downstairs because when it became warmer. So I actually went downstairs and, you see that this is May, and, like basically I, like went downstairs and painted, the street scene of different things. And these are not Sumi-e, these are basically sketchbook. But then you could see that I tried to denote various things that is unique to that day. For example, when diplomat visit Washington, D.C., we will have the D.C. flag, we will have the American flag, and we will have the flag of the visiting diplomat. And in this particular day, the Prime Minister of the Singapore is in town. So Singapore Prime Minister is in town. So this is the flag between 17 and F Street. And it is August 3rd, 2016. So I have that. And little things here and there. Next to my building, there's a building with an administrative office of, I believe it's VET. And they have, probably some of the visitors have really cool bites. So I do have a good number of sketch of really cool bites. And then of course, sometimes I'll do flowers, sometimes I'll do different things. This is the CFPB, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, and they were doing renovation on the lobby. And this is a pretty nice scene that I took that I found is interesting because they are demolishing something. I think it's a very cool combination of design. And of course, I do trees and like people who work for my agency will remember this. This is a resident duck, and every spring she will come to the front yard of the building and she will nurse her eggs here. And she come back every year. So, since she's nursing her egg, incubating them, she doesn't move. Even I'm approaching, she doesn't move. So very good models. And then here, like a few days later, then the chicks hatch. So this is like little things. But okay, go back to the sketchbook. The sketchbook, I actually came back on 2019, finally crossed the street. And then what I did is I continue with the painting, and this is actually the building opposite to us on the other side. And this is the CFPB building that used to be OTS building. So, in this particular one, I say they finally take the OTS Landing Dock sign off the building because it used to have that sign here for the longest time. Even OTS has not existed for a good number of years. And you will see that continue. And this is actually the edge of the building and end of the balcony. So I actually wrote a little message, and then I drew myself drawing here. So that is the entire duration of my books, but you may want to look at it one more time. So here you go, from here. Okay, started off with Washington Monument, go to the right, with the museum and art school, and then a pretty big building on here with glasses so you can see the reflection on the mirror. And that's the edge of this. And then going to the other side, so we have the African American History Museum. We have the setting up of the Christmas tree. Smithsonian is here. I think this is the old post office building. Really cold, freezing. So I wrote various notes on it being freezing. And then this is the executive building. So I did draw a lot of detail on it. And this is when the country is on half flag because of the passing of John Glenn in honor of him. So we have various ones. And then we have Happy New Year and also lots of bird resting on the top. This is actually the American Craft Museum. And then I actually have a break of painting. And then I came back 2 years later, 2019. And then I continue with the building. This is actually the Commerce building. Yeah. And then this is the CFPB building. And then this is the edge of the my balcony. So if you actually look, I have a little note. I started in 2016, November, and then this was finished in May of 2019, right? And of course, like we have one side, we have to do the other side. So what I did is I actually brought the book downstairs on the street of Washington, D.C., and then I start painting for the rest of this. So you may want to take a very quick look. This is the first infantry, right? And then this is actually a bird in front of the tree outside the corporation building. This is like a pair. So this one is the road in front of the White House. The White House is here. And this is the road that people can walk on because it's not closed. It's only open for foot traffic. No car can pass along, right? And this is, of course, right in front of the White House. I basically did one per lunchtime, right? And then this is kind of like from the middle of the White House, this is looking to the right, and this is looking to the left, right? You see tourists here. And this is the art school that I talk about. They have two gigantic, beautiful lions at the entrance. So I was actually sitting on the stair of the entrance, and this is one of the lions. I did it one afternoon, right? And then I did another one the other afternoon. And remember, I talked about the brush that I used. And instead of using a regular Sumi brush, I used the one that I talk about that come with the water. And so basically I push a little bit and then more water come out. So what I did is I did all this, like with the black sketch first, and then the lighter ink by pressing more water in it. And they're all done in one sitting within a lunchtime. So it's pretty quick, right? And then this is the Octagon Museum, which actually the president stayed there when the White House was being repaired in the 1800s. Yeah, so there are signs that talk about, but the thing is, they call it an octagon building, but then I was told that when you really look at it, it's not really a perfect octagon. It's the shape is not really octagon, but it's a interesting shape. I was standing actually under the really big tree in front of the entrance, and that's why I also drew the foliage as well. This is interesting. This is 2019 April, and of course, every April during Easter, that's the Easter egg roll. This is the day that they have the Easter egg roll on the South Lawn, and then these are actually all the people trying to go in, and of course they have different stations for people to stay in line to go in, and of course I was just standing there drawing everybody trying to go in, so which is kind of fun. Yeah. And this is the FDIC building on 17th Street. This is the Commerce building. This is actually F Street. F Street. This is 17th Street, and I'm on 18th Street looking up. And that is the shuttle connecting various corporation buildings. And this is the executive building. And I basically stand on the sidewalk and drew all that, also during a lunchtime. Yeah. And of course, this is March 28th. So the cherry blossom were blooming. So I actually walked closer to the monument to draw that. And that's the book. All right. So so that's my sketchbook. Any comments or anything you want to say? Because I was so focused in talking about the book, I did not really notice whether you have any questions. And by the way, you know, I used to do kind of like black and white, only like fine line, and I should do this share screen. It shows better. Okay, this is my sketchbook that I bought overseas when I'm traveling. So it's really small. This one is 2018. We were at the airport. So this is actually waiting for the plane. So I was just, you know, sketching all different ones at the airport. But then what I did is I actually bought my little painting set. So when I am, when I have time after drawing it, I actually use the watercolor here and give it a very light wash. So you don't need a lot of color. You just need a little bit of wash. So this is what I did. This one is looking out from the Marriott in Paris, France. So this is probably the France one. And then, you know, you have Eiffel Tower, and, you know, we were on the cruise. So, you know, like we were drawing people, it was winter, so pretty cold. But then Eiffel Tower, you know, like you don't need a lot of color. Yeah. And this is actually inside the bus. I was you know, drawing people in the bus.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Questions? These are all the people in the bus. And you know, this is the Hall of Mirrors. Yeah. Not all of them have colors, but some of them do. Yeah. So, and this is a very long bus ride, so I have a lot of time, so I keep coloring it. I think I actually put too much color in that one. So these are the color one that I have. Yeah. And I want to show you this one. I have a lot of the sketch in ink only, pen and ink, because that's the most convenient one. So this is all my sketchbook during lunchtime. And there's a beautiful magnolia tree nearby on the 18th Street. So I've been sketching it every year when it's in bloom. So I have a lot of magnolia sketch. But then what I try to show you is, since I have a lot of fun doing my coloring, this is my cafeteria, by the way. But then I start coloring them. And so I actually just start coloring them on October 2019. And this one is, as I say, it's a Commerce building. And it's an interesting day because there are some diplomat that, or like a trade committee having a big meeting in the trade building. And then there are two groups of people. These are actually the group of people that are reporters. So they are the media. So you can see that they have, you know, like a lot of cameras and things on here. And on this side of the building, I mean, across the street, which is something that I didn't draw because I'm actually on the building balcony looking down. So it's, you know, like I can only see their head in little circles. So I didn't draw these people who are here. But then these are actually protesters about the trade deal. So these are a lot of protesters here, and there's the media and the protesters were separated by the street. So I think that's interesting. And then another one that I did is White House, 16th Street. This is 16th Street, and the White House was changing fans. The fans were 6 inches here, but then they are changing it into 13 feet fans. So in order to change it, they have to block it, change it, block it, change it, block it, change it. And this is October 2019. So you can tell that, you know, these fences are 13 feet high, and these fences are still 6 feet and 6 inches high. And of course, there's a police car and then fence up, so we cannot even walk in here. But the unfortunate thing is, then after October, it became too cold. So I decided not to go downstairs to walk around to paint. And I was hoping when spring comes, when I start my new book, I would have Washington, D.C., because I have a lot of Washington, D.C. here, but then they are kind of, you know, only ink only. So I was hoping that, you know, like by when spring comes, then I will have a lot of this Washington, D.C., but with a light color wash. But when you look at the date, when spring comes, March 2020, unfortunately, we have the lockdown. So we automatic telework. I was unable to go back to Washington, D.C., and my lunch break no longer is in Washington, D.C. So it you know, never happened. So I don't have any, you know, color Plein Air, pen and ink that is of Washington, D.C. I was really like to, you know, chronograph the building of the fence, you know, but then, you know, I was only able to get maybe 2 in that one. Okay, so I think I've done enough talking. Any questions? Any comments?
Thank you for sharing. That was wonderful. I enjoyed it.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
it
brings back a lot of your memories, doesn't it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, especially the one that is with the agency, because especially with you are a colleague of mine and used to stand in the cafeteria looking out, you will really remember how it looks like. And you know, like because of the pandemic, I mean, I think none of my colleagues have seen that for 2 years.
Yeah. You don't have to ask permission of the people when you're sketching them, do you? Because they're out in public?
No, because I mean, first of all, you probably noticed that I don't have any face per se. Mm-hmm. The sketches, a lot of the people that I have, let's see. First of all, you know, most of them actually, I mean, like for example, the one with the building, there's no people, right? It's not much people there. And then on this, I'm basically doing the building, so I don't have that. I still remember, you know, like a lot of times because I'm actually standing on the balcony of the cafeteria, looking down, so things are very small. I do know who they are. For example, this particular one is a gentleman that worked in our mailroom. So I mean, of course, I'm not going to tell you his name, but he always sat here after lunch to look, people watch. You know, that's just something that he likes to do. And he was watching people, I was watching him. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun thing. And I have, you know, I didn't show you, but as I say, the CFPB building were doing innovation. And when they were renovating, they have a lot of trucks. So, you know, like during lunchtime, I also sat across the street from them because not my building, but the building next to mine actually have a little garden. And then they have 2 chairs there for people to sit. So it actually became my chair during lunchtime. I would just sit there and then look at the construction people and then drew them. And as a matter of fact, there were also people who were, I'm not sure whether it's in this one, there was one time there were lots of construction on the building next to mine. And I drew all the construction workers, and then I make a copy of all of them and I gave it to them. I'm not sure whether they like it, but then when I gave it to them, they were like, what's this? And then I say, these are you guys. And then they're like, oh, and then they like it. And then of course, they started conversations. And this is actually my work cafeteria. And I was sitting in one of the table and watching all the people paying for their meals. But then you can see that I don't really have a face. They are mainly the silhouette. So I don't think, they would mind. And besides, they know what I'm doing. And I think that my colleagues know that what I'm doing. And occasionally they will come and see what I'm doing. And for example, like this one, this is a guy that sells hats. And he is actually in front of my work building. So and no one asked him to go away, because that there are lots of this kind of people selling things along the Smithsonian and also maybe 1 block from the White House, because that's where all the tourists are. And my street is 17th Street, so it's like another block from the main, the busiest selling. But because of that, he actually have really good business because he sells lots of hats. I would love this to be in color, but then for some reason, I wasn't doing color at that time, so I only have it black and white. But then it's kind of fun, to draw different things. And then, in summer, he would sell caps. In winter, he would sell, beanies. So it's kind of fun to see how things goes. And
does that gentleman still live in his tent in the park across the street from the White House?
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't been there for 2 years. But then there are and because I walk there to sketch and also people watch, because when you like to draw, you like to people watch, you like to observe, like the silhouette and proportion and things like that. And I think I know who you're talking about. He has lots of
signs.
Yeah, he has lots of signs about global warming, about like how humans are causing the planet and things like that. Yes,
he's lived there for years.
I have seen him every day, and as a matter of fact, depending on how cold it is, I think he's always there because the other people, they're different. Sometimes they're there, especially during summer. They will be on a amplifier, and then they will talk about what they believe in. And sometimes it's very they're competing because there are multiple ones. Yeah. So the guy again. So it's a different view of him. It's the same guy, but he is selling more t-shirts this time. 3 t-shirts for $10. Things like that. So those are things that I do. And do I have any questions? I hope you guys like the one that I shared today. And I would like to continue the Zoom chat, and let me know if you want it in January or in February, because I'm thinking, like every December will be even months. And so every December I have to move it. So maybe I should move it to the odd months. Let me know and things like that. But we won't have one next month because of the holidays.
Yeah, good. Sorry, I got in late today. Too much going on.
Oh, I showed this entire like a sketchbook that I did on Sumi-e. And then before I do that, I also show different things that I use when I bring to sketch. But then I have it recorded, so you should be able to see that later. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Because I think I probably run out of time. I don't even know what time it is. And I keep talking. So I hope you enjoy the talk today, and I will get it posted. And let me just stop the recording first.